Resist what the crux is. It's time to resist. Resist, I insist, or your freedom will be missed. Ask yourself, why the world government on everybody's shit list? It's cause you know we've been dissed, and we got a right to be pissed. I don't swing to the right or left. I ride with God cause I'm blessed. God's gift to uplift. About to blaze a spliff and reminisce like Hamlet.
We heard the abyss.
I said it's
time we resist like gorillas in the mist.
And fight the damn power for all freedom to exist. It's time we resist. And resist what it manifests. Resist the machine filled by breeding green.
Yes, so mean.
I think it's in the genes. They some strange ass beings.
Filthy rich elite fiends.
Doing strange ass things. I think pigs slide a hand like them David Blaines.
Murder, kill to all these Jeffrey Epstein.
Hella mean. Cause it's
Money
money
they
they fiend.
fiend.
We don't wanna join your team.
We want the American dream.
I don't wanna join your team. We want the American dream. We don't wanna join a team. We want the American dream. Fight the power. Fight the power. I'm in your ear like an earring. Make your ears ring. Have you discombobulated cause you can't believe what you're hearing? Make your ears ring. Make your lips sing. Make your body move from this groove you're feeling. They gave us social distance cause they fear our resistance. It's gonna take persistence for our fight for existence. They gave us social distance cause they fear our resistance. It's gonna take persistence for our fight for existence. Illusions are inevitable. Weaving webs innumerable. Her beautiful picture never fails. Crowding each other, veil on veil. A charmer will be believed by man who thirsts to be deceived. A charmer will be believed by man who thirsts to be deceived.
Tricks up their sleeve and like thieves they read.
Got everything that
Whoops, didn't mean to just totally, completely blank them out. Yo, we did it, so we done it, and we can't cross that bridge. Sorry, Mike. Yo, that was my man, 4 Ways Resist. As always, get that shit on CD, baby. Get that shit wherever. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Bong Hits with Jessie. I'm Jessie. And let me tell you something real quick. Do you know that every single night for 4 billion years, the moon has been trying to sweet talk the ocean into leaving the earth, like Bluto did to olive oil right under Popeye's nose. The earth is sitting here cradling the ocean, and the moon creeps up every night and goes, hey, how about tonight? You think maybe tonight you want to go with me? And the moon pulls out the waves. And the waves are like olive oil. They're like, ooh, and it gets the goosebumps. And then the earth is like Popeye, you know, he's not really paying attention because after 4 billion years, you kind of maybe take your sweetie for granted, right? So Popeye is doing some other stuff, playing pinball or whatever, swabbing a deck, teaching a parrot to pickpocket, whatever Popeye does in his spare time. I never really looked beyond, you know, his immediate role in the cartoon. Like, what is he doing when he's on screen? I don't know. Not the point. The point is, then Popeye's like, God damn it. And he goes and he works it out and he gets his girl back and Bluto leaves for another episode. And then he comes back again and pulls at him and flirts. And, you know, it's like that. It's like that Boogie Monster song, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast. Man, it really is though, yo. Like social media will pull my credentials if I played that song, but I encourage all of you to find a way to play that Boogie Monsters stuff right now in your life. Yo, man, this world is like super overwhelming. But people do a really good job of dumbing it up, right? But the fact that the moon is even there is so absolutely mind-blowing, impossibly mind-boggling, insane, so astronomically impossible that we have a foreign planetoid that exists within our orbit and not the orbit of the sun, yet we share this paper rock scissors, this dance, right? Not just with the sun, the moon, and the earth, but with the earth, the moon, and the ocean. Remember, this is a water planet. And also remember that if you look into the carbonaceous rocks, and I don't know what that means. I just read it. I'm just telling you what I read. If you look into the carbonaceous rocks, as the molecules that create water are buried deep into the earth as separate entities that came to this planet, right? They do not have the markings that show origins. They do not have the markings that show origins in this solar system, right? They lack a solar imprint that they would have had they originated on this planet, right? So then what you understand from that, you can extrapolate that it means that water is extraterrestrial. And people are like, well, where'd the water come from? Then they want to say, JEssie, the moon was created by a collision. A planetoid flew into the earth during a time of early development when it was still molten, right? And it hit the earth and it created a bunch of stuff ejected, and then got caught in some orbits, and somehow to really try to speed up a 5 billion-year-old story. So somehow it created this planetoid that's exactly 400 times smaller than the sun and exactly 400 times closer to the sun. And then you're like, right here, Charlie. Except I'm on the road, so I don't have the bong today. Oh, let me show you guys where I am. Hold on, let me finish the story. So then you think about water real quick, and you're like, okay, well, if water came from outside the galaxy, what extreme luck, right? So what science and accepted scientific consensus, which I reject every time I'm reminded of, when the fancy dudes with the powdered wigs and the buckle shoes laughed at the explorers who wanted to suggest that maybe there was civilization and intelligent people living in the Americas, right? And they were like, take away his funding, right? So I don't seek outside validation for the things that resonate true in my life, but you can either take that or leave that. And I'm going to tell you that to tell you this, which is that would mean that a runaway planet piloted by an extraterrestrial, intelligent, symbiotic being known as water landed on this planet. Of all the places in space you could go, your old planet is going to hit this new planet at the exact spot with the exact amount of English to propel solid rock material into space, while at the same time having enough English that it spins backwards and keeps the majority of the water on this planet, right? Then over time, the processes settle it all down, and we just end up perfectly with the right climate for this intelligent, symbiotic, indestructible. Like, how do you kill water? You can't kill water, bro. Water is God, right? So then all of a suddenly, right, trying to scale down like 3 billion years or of evolution or whatever, we split the zygote or whatever. We rise from the primordial ooze as single-celled organisms, and then we develop over time, and we grow legs, and we climb up out the pond, and then down the road we're humans, right? So the water gave us life, and then now what are we made out of, right? Our body has high percentage of water as the actual building blocks of it, right? Our bodies contain water for everything. It lives in our heart. It lives in our brains. It lives in our cardiovascular systems. It lives in our tears. If you cry a tear of happiness, it feels different than a tear of sadness, right? But check it out. It also looks different under a microscope. And bro, I ain't no science fish. So don't try to school me, bro, because I don't live in an aquarium with you, right? Like, even if you try to give me some science, your science does not affect my life at all, right? I will take your measuring stick and make it 8 inches and just give it back to you and be like, now there's the parameters of your life. And you'll be like, wait a minute. And I'll just Mandela your whole effect, right? Or I'll just change the laws of physics in the world that you live in, because where I come from, it's a 14-inch foot, right? You're like, what? That's right. You don't know. But you know what you do know is that I stayed up all night absorbing the power of the moon as it tries to seduce the ocean to leave the earth. I sat there in the row of the kisses that were blown, right? As the moon blew the kisses to the ocean, and the ocean dodged them. I was catching them. I was like right there, just catching them. I had a whole basket, and I just stored them up. And when my basket filled up, I stuffed them in my pockets. And when my pockets filled up, I put them in my ear hole, like you used to do when you didn't have a bag, but somebody would give you one bowl of weed. You're like, all right, bro, here's one bowl of weed. Okay, 2 things I want to remind you of right away. If you go to standupandfightback.bigcartel.com and tell them you saw this ad with me and Easy E on Coffee and Bong Hits, then you'll get 10% off your entire order and free shipping. This would also be a good time to remind you that Stand Up and Fight Back is the official provider of all the Coffee and Bong Hits apparel, which you can find by going to the website and going to the shop. So that's urbansurvivorman.com /shop. And if you go there, holy shit, if you go there, you are going to find the story of the weasels, man. Or not the weasels, the minks. The weasels. That's funny. I was thinking about people that live in Portland. I meant the minks, not the weasels. No offense to weasels. Hey, y'all ever mess with mongooses? I'm going to tell you real quick, man. Mongooses are abundant in Hawaii. And they had a rat problem. So some howley, certainly, not to paint everybody with a with a conspicuous brush, but they decided the answer to the rats was to infest the islands with mongoose to kill the rats. Except the problem is that rats are nocturnal and mongoose are diurnal, so that wasn't even a thing. And now the mongoose and the wild cat gang, they live together at these cat sanctuaries, and they just hang out and they eat cat food all day. But I said that just to say that there's a crazy story that we're going to talk about with my man, because he'll be here any second. My man Josh Larson. You can find him at Stand Up. Shut Up, Stupid. You can find his stand up at Shut Up. Man, can I just do that part over? All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, I'll be joined a little bit by my man Josh Larson. You can find him at blah 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 blah. No, I'm teasing. Josh will be here any second, and we might show you some footage from Mars. I don't know. Let's just bring Josh up. What's up, man?
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
Yo. Well, what's up with where's your changing screen?
It got moved a little bit. I'm doing some reorganizing, and I'm one of those, man. Every time I do something, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then an hour later, I come back, I'm like, but what if I did this? And so then things keep getting moved around.
It makes me a little more comfortable to do to talk with you, because I'm not continuously expecting somebody to jump out from behind it and attack you, right?
Right. I'm in a ninja free zone. You know that now.
Right. Yeah, I know that for sure. That's the one thing I can go into each day confident of is that there are no ninjas standing directly behind you, right? Like,
That's right.
here's the thing though, you're only like, I can only see like 4 feet, wide of your thing. But all right, so look out my window. There's the ocean.
Nice.
All right. All right. Okay, that's so I'm just posted up in this dope ass beach house. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. One, do you believe in the moon? Are you a mooner?
My mood. You gotta ask. I was trying to pay attention to the first little bit that you were going on, but apparently I smoked too much because I got lost a few times. I mean, I believe the moon is there.
Man, it's crazy, man. Like, why the hell is there a giant security guard flashlight pointed at us all night long, all year round, for 5 billion years, and nobody's like, "Yo, what the hell is that there for?" Everybody just walks around and just yells Carol Baskin at each other. I don't even know what these people are talking about. How's your day, man?
Going good, man.
Man, I'm on fire, G. I don't even get to play my own life. Like, I just cheat these days, man. I just channel everything. Like, I just outsource my brain work to like Fiverr of like the Akashic records, right? I just zone out and stare out the window and I just talk. And then these words just fly through my left ear and they slide right around my jawline and they just fall out my mouth like a water slide. And I don't even think about them. I'm just like, where do these freaking words come from? Oh, is that a starfish? I don't even know. I'm so just like on autopilot nonstop these days. You know the Pink Panther? Remember the Pink Panther? That fool would almost walk off a building, and then somebody else would accidentally just leave a 2x4 sitting there. And it would just be like, oh, look, I'm gonna walk
the crane comes in.
Yes. So I'm gonna walk across this plank, man. And it's so weird how you can do that. You can check out and then check back in. Like, was that really a whole week? Or did I just run that on montage mode? Doesn't it seem like it's always effing Tuesday?
Oh man, always. I feel like that's where this whole, ever since, I mean, really in all time, it just kind of all blends. But the pandemic stuff has just added it to blend so much more. Where, I don't know, like weeks become weeks, whatever. It is what it is. It's getting a little colder, I'm noticing. So I guess it must be December, but.
Yeah, last night I stayed up super late. I didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock, and I haven't done that in a long time. And I definitely haven't done that sober in a long time, right? But something like in my head was like, bro, you should go to bed so you can be a productive member of society. And then I thought, society doesn't exist anymore. Like, why wouldn't I stay awake till 6 o'clock in the morning? This is the most exciting thing I might do for another 2 months. Right? Like, just staying up late. Like, ooh, this is an adventure. I'm gonna see both 420s in one day. Yay. That's all I got to live for, man.
It's not a bad accomplishment, though.
Man, I got so blessed, G. I got to see Dr. Strange's apartment. I got to see that place where the frog hustled that dude into some free food and a place to stay. And then when he brought him to Carnegie Hall, he was like, all right, frog dance. The frog was like, hashtag shrugs, right? I was like, take me to where that one frog didn't do that one thing. But then I saw the Mississippi, then I crossed the monkeys off the list, and now I'm just like content just to live in a phone booth again, right? To go back into the aquarium. I'm just like, whatever, put me back in the aquarium. I'll just breathe manufactured bubbles out of an air stone. I'm not fooled, right? Like, just come back into the matrix. But if you want to dip out, you could dip out. Or you could just check out. Then you could check back in. Hey, but what if here's the plot twist, and it kind of has to be this way. What if every time you took a nap, you woke up in a different cherished memory of your life, and you could do that at any time because every nap is a save point, right? So if you felt like it, like people have whole PlayStations. They have whole Xboxes with lots of games. They don't just have one game, right? You're going to play one game for a while, then pause that shit. Then you're going to play another game for a while, then pause that shit, pop back in. Man, remember that time you were in the 5th grade and you hit the home run and everybody was happy? That's not my memory. That's another kid's memory. But it could be mine, right? If I went and got that game, I could get the Josh Larson game. I mean, shit. Trust me, if there can be a giant moon just floating there staring at us every night, then there's a Josh Larson game, right? There's intelligent design to this that makes it so crazy, right? Like there is everything is so perfectly symbiotic. And people will say, well, everything is perfectly symbiotic because it has to be perfect because that's the only way that it would work. And that the experiment of life has maybe been tried countless other times with different sets of variables and different ingredients, and it didn't work. But this particular minestrone of DNA laws and laws of physics just happened to work, right? I'm just like, bro, shut up with all that denial. Can you just accept there's magic? And if you can't, then you're just a video game player, bro. You don't even have you're a computer player, right? Like you don't have a saved, you don't have a character. You got to just play a computer guy. You just
you're
show
the default
up.
guy.
yeah.
Blue
right?
jeans, a green shirt.
And if somebody tells you they're that dude, how much of your time are you going to spend convincing them that they're not? Like, no, bro, you have a soul. They're like, no, I don't. And you're like, wow, that's weird. That's weird. You're going to argue that you're just going to just die. Like, when I die, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Like, holy shit, you're a computer player. You're CPU. You're CPU too.
They're just ready to log in as somebody else afterwards.
Oh man, yeah.
Why we were building robots too was like so we can do stuff like that. I thought that's what the whole AI movement was for, so I can check out of my life and enjoy somebody else's who's better than mine.
Man, I'm telling you, all I know is I know I haven't always been JEssie Sponberg, but I've always been these set of eyeballs, right? Like these eyeballs are just my save card, my save stick, or my memory card. What was it?
Memory card,
my memory card, right? So I could take my memory card to your house. I can go to your spot, right? And then I could just pop in. So all I know is that right now I'm playing some real high level JEssie Sponberg shit on like some 8-3 right now, right? I'm really up in that shit where it's complicated. I'm trying to just get the highest score in this round of the simulation, right? Like, how'd the moon get there? Who cares? The moon's there, bro. It's like Minecraft. Like, why you ask so many questions? Just play the game. You know, like you never asking Mario, like, where'd those turtles get those hammers they throw at everybody? Like, it's just part of the game, bro.
That's what you do. Yep.
And if somebody tells you they're a turtle, you just got to accept that shit. Like, all right, man. Well, you're an effing turtle then. Okay, so do you know about the minks? That's what I wanted to talk to you about today was the minks.
Do I do? I heard about they're spreading the COVID.
Yeah. And it's in Oregon.
Yeah. I used to live next to a mink
one?
farm. I used to live next to one out in Boring, man, and those guys are vicious. Yeah, in Boring, there was like there was a mink farm out there. I don't know if it's still there, but when I was a little kid, man, you would wake up in the morning and it would smell terrible from the minks.
I thought it probably smells worse from the mink farmers, man. You know, it takes a special type of person to work at a factory farm like that, right? But man, we're gonna eat mink. I bet it'd be good. I thought about eating the mongoose before. People on the island eat the mongoose. Hey, but I knew it, man. Oh gosh, bro, that's the never-ending debate. Is it mongooses? Yeah, nobody knows, man. You Google it, you'll get different answers every time. And then somebody will say, bro, why do you care how they say mongoose? Why you a cop, bro? Why you ask so many questions? The same with the moon. Why you ask so many questions about the moon, bro? You a cop? You a cop, bro? Like, no. Okay. Yo, but that's real. And I always had this fear that the world was going to end because some raver chick went to a unmasked rave and then had 4 ferrets. And it spread the pandemic that way because the mink virus can jump obviously to a ferret. They're like the same thing, right? A mink and a ferret.
Yeah. Basically, they gotta be. I wonder.
Does that mean rats?
What do you do to stop this? Like, do you quarantine minks? Is that what do we round them all up and quarantine them, or?
Man, they killed 10 million of them in Denmark, and they were scheduled to kill 17 million. But after they killed 10 million, they realized legally they weren't supposed to do that.
That was a little messed up.
So they hit them with the big oops. They were like, yeah, sorry, guys. Then the minks, I don't know if you saw it in the news, the minks actually started rising up from the shallow graves because their bodies were full of gases from decomposition, right? Like exhaust gases, right? Okay, so look, this is my hold on. Look, it's halftime right now, so I need to remind you guys of 2 things. One, that we mess with the movement, yo. Hey, yo, it's Jesse Sponberg. I'm rocking with the movement. You can too. Every Sunday night, 10 p.m. only on KBOO, KBOO 90.7. Yo, and then really though, we work for 5.
New music coming up. And when right.
Boom, that's it. That's loud in my ear. And then when it hits halftime, we got to go to the Red Panda because I don't know how many bowls you took to the head today, but Red Panda always takes 4 to the head, 4 to the head every time. Man, could you imagine being like the second best unicycle bowl flipper in the world? Like, oh, you probably still get gigs though. What do you think the drop off is? How many unicycle bowl head flipper people do you think the world can sustain?
I mean, at least like 3 in each major city, right?
Really?
There's gotta be some competition. Well, you got to think there's still clowns out there, dog. There's still a lot of clowns out there. And if there's a bunch of clowns,
versatile though. A unicycle bowl head flipper lady has to like really have enough room, not just like back and forth on the unicycle, but floor to ceiling to be flipping bowls. So she needs a large gymnasium, right? But a clown can go anywhere. A clown could just like show up at your house or whatever. A unicycle lady can't even get upstairs. She has to just sit there in the elevator, going back and forth for a minute, like, with bowls on her foot. Okay, anyways, you guys can make fun of her all you want, but Red Panda gets paid. Hold on. Yo, man, I can't lie. I'm so happy for her every time.
Nailed it.
All right, hold on, man. Yo, man, how about in the year 1999 or anytime after the Bible was written, when people were making considerations for if the mark of the beast came around, right? Where everything you did would be tracked and everything you bought and sold would be controlled, and it was foretold and everybody was scared of it, right? So take that person that you were in 1999. Now teleport yourself to a far off plane where you can have a conversation with yourself from today and say this to yourself. Hey, man, are they tracking you yet? You got the chip yet, man? And he'd be like, it is way more ironic than you could ever imagine, my past self, because we have a device in our pockets. And they'd be like, who runs it? Evil government? Like, way worse, man. Super villain dudes with infinite resources. Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg and the super bad guys, and they run it. And not only do they track your movements, they tell you they track your movements, and they record every single word that you say into your telephone. And your past self will be like, you're shitting me. And they'll be like, nope, swear to God. And you'll be like, well, you threw that off the bridge into the deepest part of the ocean, right? Like, not exactly. What would you do? Bury it 20 feet in a hole in your backyard? And you're like, no. Well, tie it to a dolphin and kick it in the ass? I'm like, no. Where is it then? Locked in a lead box somewhere on the top of a mountain in the Himalayas? Like, bro, it's in my pocket right now. And you're like, what? Are you a snitch? Are you a snitch? You're like, man, I'm just a full-time voluntary snitch. All my business is conducted within total eye of the government, and I live my entire fragile, free existence based on the fact that I'm hoping it's a numbers game and that they just don't catch on to what I'm doing, right? Like, there can't possibly be enough people to read everybody's messages. They're not going to see what I just put on Facebook. Like in the DMs when somebody just hits you up with some old sinister stuff and you're just like, oh, let me participate in this sinister exchange right under the eyes of the surveillance state. You're like, hey, big brother, you know, that is so amazing to me.
The trade-off, though, is that way, at least though I'm giving the government all of that, I'm still able to mobily find out how to make macaroons, right? And I may need to know that at some point to make macaroons. That's the trade-off there, is give up your info. We'll give you more ridiculous info so you can find things like TikTok and watch people hit each other in the nuts all day. Fair trade-off for me. Fair trade-off. Oh, I could spend some time doing that.
Man, do you know that if I accidentally go into the wormhole of looking at the second video, anytime Facebook shows me a video, if I watch that video, the second video and every single video underneath it is some fake prank with fake actors doing some fake skit that nobody in the world could possibly believe. And yet it's got 50,000 comments and 1 million shares and 10 million views. Every single one of these things, and it's the absolute very lowest of the bottom of the barrel of entertainment. And then I look at some of my friends' shares of just incredible content, and it's like 3 views, and I'm like, man, we are purposely and systemically and systematically, which are actually 2 different terms, getting deconstructed as a society, as a strategy. It's a business model.
We're getting
it's a
dumber
business
and dumber.
model.
Dumb people help move things, which makes it easier to control. Look at this, man. Look at how dumb people are with the Yankee Candle. You've been hearing about those guys? They got blew up on Yelp and all that because people were all mad because they couldn't smell their candles because the dumb Karens have coronavirus, so they can't smell anything. And I think Yankee Candle's missing out on an opportunity because they could do like a probably COVID candle and sell to these dum-dums right now. Light it up. Do you smell roses? No, you probably got COVID. If you do smell it, you probably don't. That's fantastic. These guys are missing out because dumb people are what make things move, man. That's just the way it is. Stupid people rule the world.
Damn it. Yo, it's today is the second day in a row. I promised this week we were going to just start rocking some local hip hop every day. I think that's a nice way to get into the second hour before we jump into whatever the fuck else we got to talk about. Hey, when we come back from this video, make sure that we talk about the idea that you have to dress a certain way or drive a certain criteria of car to be able to deserve free food or a food basket or a food box. And a lot of people are judgy, but a lot of people just really ain't never thought about it. So like we always try to do, we'll break you out for some free game right after we lace you up with this video from my man, Mr. Wiseguy. Can you hear it, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, peep this shit.
I'ma put it on the curb, park it real low. Hit the front, drop it back down real slow. Whip sit so low, it's a real trip. Put the bumper on the sidewalk, feel shit. I'ma put it on the curb, park it real low. Hit the front, drop it back down real slow. Whip sit so low, it's a real trip. Put the bumper on the sidewalk, feel shit. I put the bumper on the sidewalk, feel shit. Pull up to the curb and I kill shit. Let the air out the back, shit's real slick. By the inch off the ground, she still sits. Everybody double take on the low. Thumbs up, pointing at it, take a photo. Shit slaps off the back, it's a go-go. Don't touch on my whip, it's a no-no. Shit sits so clean on the big rims. Ron Burgundy, rubber band, chrome trim. Can't stand it, everybody talk shit. Give a fuck, let's listen to the bass hit. I'ma put it on the curb every damn day. Pull off slow, I'ma let the ass scrape. Shit slap like an old school short tape. Next paint, clear coat with the chrome flake. I'ma put it on the curb, park it real low. Hit the front, drop it back down real slow. Whip sit so low, it's a real trip. Put the bumper on the sidewalk, kill shit. I'ma put it on the curb, park it real low. Hit the front, drop it back down real slow. Whip sit so low, it's a real trip. Put the bumper on the sidewalk, kill shit. I put the bumper on the sidewalk, kill shit. Raise it the whole thing, and I kill shit. Fish jam, apply gas, break dip. Switch out to the chrome like that shit. Niggas stunning on them, swing on the Mayday. I'm a real one, rolling in my 83. Old school, still slamming them photos. Rubber pack like really, you already know. Shit smacking, rear view vibrate. Shit dummy, not hear me from a mile away.
Oops.
I'ma put it on the curb, real heavy, man. All day long, you really think this shit's a game. I'ma put it on the curb, park it real low. So close to the ground that it still goes. Chrome 16s, 20-inch burgundies. I got 2 picks.
Yo. So something I forgot to that I really want to talk about today is I see a lot of people are hyped up right now about the idea of Joe Biden or Congress providing some sort of student loan debt relief, right? And the number being tossed around. Yo, that was my guy, Mr. Wiseguy, the Too Short of Vancouver. You can find that shit at least on YouTube. Good looking. Hey, remember every day we're gonna play one of the homies, man. I thought it's a really nice way to get from 1035 to 1040, right? And that creates a cool little pocket right in there between Red Panda and that's a nice rhyme, Red Panda and
there you go.
Okay, so reminder, we're here with Josh Larson. You can find Josh everywhere else but here at Shut Up Stupid 13. I should have an overlay for that, but we don't need it. Just remember that, Shut Up Stupid 13. So look, Joe Biden is wanting to give away, or at least people are wanting to talk about it, right? I don't even know how far that nut is actually falling from that tree. If it's more of a manufactured thing that's literally getting its life from Facebook shares, or if there's teeth in that shark bite. If not, then I'm wasting my time. But if so, what you guys need to understand is $10,000 worth of student loan debt is seriously just a bailout for the banks. Because look, bro, if you got $10,000 to just give to the banks on my behalf, then how about you just give me $10,000 and I can keep telling the banks to EAD, right? Church kids, y'all cringe. You're like, oh no, he's gonna say eat a dick. Don't do it. Don't worry, church kids. I would never do that. Yeah, what is that, man? So look, anybody else who owes more than $10,000 in student loan debt, which most people that really went and got a college education, right? The people who
Yep.
deserve it the most. Look, you know who $10,000 in debt bails out, man? That bails out the people that just went to school for a couple terms to student loan as they could before the government caught on and was like, whoa, yo, put the brakes on that shit, buddy. Uh, um, but anybody that really needs that kind of debt relief needs a lot more than $10,000, right?
Right.
And and if you can find $10,000 to give to the damn bank, give that shit to the people that you can't seem to find $1,200 to give to, right? Give them that dresser money, that nightstand money, as you sneak away with your election in the middle of the night, right? So, man,
That's the
don't
part I
believe
don't
the
get
hype.
is they're finding all this money to talk about to give away, but it's like we're still going through a pandemic. We still have millions of people unemployed, and that stuff runs out in like 2 days. And we're talking about giving money on other things. Why don't we focus on the problem at hand first before we get too far ahead of ourselves?
Man, I still have not gotten any of my unemployment money that I've been owed since the very beginning of it. Like, I'm approved. I file every 2 weeks. They're like, high five, homie. Everything's good. We'll shoot you that loot. Nothing. Nothing. I called. They're like, aloha. You have reached the Hawaiian Department of Employment Services. Our office hours are whenever we show up, brah, to after we take the late lunch, brah, then we come back for a half hour, then we leave again. Um, and no, you can't fax it. You gotta actually ride a horse to Hilo to drop that off for us. Yeah, so I've just been waiting and waiting, and crazy because there's millions of Americans in my same boat. And fortunately, I live like the bird in the Bible, right? The Lord provides for me, right? The universe is my sponsor, so I'm able to somehow ink out a meager existence still and keep my wits. But most people, what are they gonna do, bro? That's all they know. They just work. They wake up. They tell the same joke every morning, like, how you doing? Same shit, different day. Like, goddamn, same joke, different day. Now imagine being stuck in a pandemic with nobody to tell that joke to. You're just walking around going, same shit, same day, different day. What day? Say it, shit, same shit. Those guys are losing it, man.
Dude,
Okay.
imagine too, like you got family and all that, and you don't got paychecks coming in, nothing else. It's hard. It's one of those where like we can deal with the college payment stuff later. Let's deal with student loan later. Let's deal with people and take care of families right now with at least $1,200. Man,
What is $1,200 gonna do though, man?
because
What
the
is
other part, then
$1,200
who's
gonna do?
asking for that money? If I get $1,200, who do I got to pay off first? Like, I got a lot of people that I owe money to. Who you got to pay off first? You got to pay the mortgage first. You got to pay the cable company first. Which one gets my $1,200? Grocery store can't get much of that. Somebody's already waiting for it.
What is $1,200 gonna do? Man, Dirty Black smokes $1,200 worth of extract every day. Every day. That's insane, man. No, I don't know if that's true. I believe it is though. I made it up, but unless somebody challenges or tweets at
That'll be
us,
good.
right? Okay. Hey, the last thing I want to bring up, and this I can't believe we only got 15 minutes left. This has been a great episode. I feel really empowered sitting here on the edge of the beach. I feel like I could talk all the way to Hilo. Hey, look though, if you shoot, you can't really see. Look, but I'm gonna show you something. Okay, you can see the ocean, right? Look as far as you can to the left, and if you just started swimming right there in a straight line, man, you will end up at one of my favorite spots, bro. Coconut Island on Hilo side. A sanctuary city, man. Like, sanctuary cities are dope because if somebody's gonna kick your ass or kill you, because they have big clubs with sharks' teeth sticking out of them, and they're big old buff islanders, and they're trying to kill you. So if you can make it to one of those places of refuge, you could just chill out on the other side of the stone wall, just going They're like, like, sorry, I'm here in sanctuary under the protection of a local chief. Okay, so we were just talking about the fact that the unemployment's going to run out, and people are being faced without a lot of options, and so that means that getting food is going to be a premium, and there's going to be a lot of first-time people who have never been put in a position to donate food or work a soup line or a food giveaway or whatever, right? And there's going to be a lot of confusion because they're going to see somebody that has material possessions, and they're going to confuse material possessions with food security, right? They're going to be like, oh, that person has some real nice jeans and a nice jacket. They probably don't need this food box. Or, wow, look at that person showed up in, I don't know what kind of cars you kids like these days, but showed up in one of the popular automobile models, right? And they're like, oh, he doesn't deserve a food box, or he's taken away from somebody else because he drives an automobile that's popular with the kids these days on all the television commercials, and everybody's like, yay, when he drives by, and that's why he bought it. To get that reinforcement that you can only get from buying the latest advertised automobile during a popular sporting event, right? Did you see my latest advertised automobile on that sporting event? Wasn't it great? Anyways, my point that I lost a long time ago is that you'll do yourself, you'll do everybody around you that is going to have to explain it to you, and absolutely you'll do the psyche of anybody who you might question a big favor just to know that food insecurity has a lot of different faces, and it manifests itself in a lot of different ways, first of all. And second, that some of the bummiest mofos I know have nice shoes. And a lot of times, if you have bad credit, a car lot will only finance you in a bad deal and lace you up with some high interest on a car that you might even think is fancy. But let me tell you this. Here's the crazy truth. If you are even in a position to be that close to somebody that is in food insecure, and you are actually one step away from that person, then you really aren't any different than them, right? You're still in the same stratigraphy. You know, if you look at the strata, the socioeconomic hierarchy of where people exist, right, based on material possessions and wealth, and generational property ownership, right? Man, if you ain't got all that and you're just like one step away, you have to develop some class consciousness, because really, like, the reason I don't spend as much time doing direct hand to hand, you know, I used to be the king of giving a homeless person a blanket. Like, there's nobody in this state, probably maybe the West Coast, that's personally like generated and facilitated as many blankets as I have, or you know, maybe there's a bunch of canned food that I can put my name tag on, right? But why am I going to do that and still just exist in one thing when I should be focusing on building a machine and developing like a way? Like, check this out. A millionaire gives to charity a lot, right? But you know how they do that? They don't do that with their own money. They do that by leveraging their own money and their own influence, right? A millionaire doesn't even have to spend any of his own money. He can just strictly use his connections, or I say his a lot, right? And I don't want people to think I'm like misogynist, but I try to reflect my own reality, right? So whatever. That doesn't mean that I embrace the glass ceiling. Girls, you can be exploitative too, right? Young women, don't be discouraged. You can be a piece of crap too. Chase capitalism. Get money. Get that promotion, girl. Just like that one lady that had the perm like my mom in 1984 when she worked at the office. Like Dolly Parton. Be like Dolly Parton 9 to 5. Dum, 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 dum.
Well, I think it's a
So
weird thing, man. There's a lot of people in life me personally, what I was one decision away from, being homeless myself, or one situation taking a left instead of taking a right, where things could have gone so different. And I think now we're going to see a lot of the younger people who are on that verge now with the pandemic. They got, their hand was forced a lot. So I think people are going to get pushed to some different extremes that they're not used to and they're not, ready for really. The thing I'm worried about is if we ever get to the time. You remember back when gas there was a shortage and it depended on your license plate, like what day you could go get gas. This was way back in the day. I remember my dad telling me stories about there was a time where they were like, no, your license plate had to end with something to be able to get gas. What if we get to a point like that when it comes to being able to get food? What if you got to be on these days, A through L get to go shopping and get to hit up food banks, and on these days, M through Z gets to come through? A lot of these younger people aren't quite ready for it. And they're going to have to quickly adjust because, I'm a little bit older. I've been through some things to where, I know what things I could have done that changed things for me. But, we're all just one little step off the sidewalk away from our lives completely changing. And now's not the time for the judgment.
Yo, man, the only stability in my life comes from embracing the instability in my life, right? Like a lot of people are sedentary. I'm malleable. Like I stay organic and I don't even ever know if I'm dreaming or not, right? So so I take each cartoon episode as its own individual situation. But a lot of these people, man, they only know how to live the life that they've been told, and they've been nursed and they've been nurtured, and like I don't even know how to begin to even conceptualize how to try, even if you had the enthusiasm for tackling such a power or such a problem, like how you on a mass scale, people that are like, okay, let me put this, like not worth saving, man. Like these people are so dumb. It's like when the forest fires happen and all the cockroach personalities ran from the rural environments, and came down yelling, "Look out for the looters! We're gonna shoot them!" And then shooting them each other in the dick. And then we saved them. Literally, mutual aid set up refugee stations, and the people didn't even grasp on the idea that they were refugees. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we talking about other refugees. Like, fool, you're a refugee from an environmental climate crisis, which is no different than a manufactured governmental agency drug war in Central America, right? We're all victims of capitalism. We're all victims of the mighty dollar race and the chase, right? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yo, check this out, you guys. My Twitch. We got our second my man Coke Pepsi. What's his name? Oh man. Pepsi Coke Pepsi. Shit, I don't know. Look, we're on Twitch, but we don't do anything on Twitch. We don't never go to Twitch. I just broadcast to Twitch because I can. And this is only the second person right here. Want to become famous? By followers, primes, and viewers. Like if they put that little stuff over it, you gotta say like and viewers. By followers, primes, and viewers. Like, all right.
Right there, man. Those things, they wouldn't put those out there if those things didn't work, for stupid people to click on those and pay for followers, pay for bots.
But they wouldn't be in business if it didn't work. It must work. I'm giving them my money, man. They're on the internet. Look, has anybody named MK1K, 2K, 3L1R, 178 ever just like lied right in your inbox before? Come on. Come on. Certainly nobody would show up with a name that obvious.
That is a pretty good point. That is.
All right, man. So here's the points I try to make today, and let's just it was Vanilla Coke Pepsi. That was his name. Vanilla Coke Pepsi. That's our only fan on Twitch. Man, that sucks. We missed him today. I hope I don't offend him sometimes. I don't think he's ready for that. This show ain't for everybody, y'all. Like, this show is not for everybody. Most people have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's why I try to say it really fast, because if it doesn't make no sense, I'm not giving you any extra time to dwell on it. You're just going to shrug like dumb people before the internet, like, how many people live in Russia? Shit, I'll never know, right? It's not my fault to access that information for you. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you guys. Somebody put the moon there, and the sooner you figure that out, the sooner you will realize that all of your life is super magical and based on a series of planned coincidences that all tie together in the most beautiful. Remember that game Mousetrap that you could get when you were a kid?
Yep.
It was like
ball
the
comes down.
Right? It was the funnest game in the world, but if you lost one piece, that whole thing just became garage sale fodder. 25 cents for some pieces. It was useless. If you lost that boot that came over, or the little piece of fake cheese that made the rat go. Anyways, also the minks, that's real. That is real. Look, if you own minks, stop going to large scale music events. I'm talking to you, ferret ladies. I'm talking to you people that show up and say they're Indian style with ferrets on leashes. And say, hey, you want to pet my ferret for $1? Like that guy in Kona. It's like, you want to touch my parrot? Ooh, it's ferrets and parrots. That's like the hustle. Right. Ferrets and parrots. What else could they sell? Like ferrets, parrots, sheriffs. No.
Sheriffs, there you go.
Now, on that one, we are going to end the show. Remember, support everybody that supports us. And since we're sponsored by the universe, that means support the universe, because literally you get out of this world what you put into it. And I don't know how to tell you that. And I can't paint everybody with a broad brush. A lot of times I'll say that to people and they'll say, Jessie, but what about my anomalous circumstances that don't line up with your pretty rock solid, tried and true, time-tested, reliable method that you get out what you put in, right? Look, if you go the extra mile in life, you're going to get the extra mile out of life, right? Effort always equals success. Always, bro. Effort always equals success. And self-sacrifice is never not rewarded in some way, right? And if you instantly want to become rich, change your definition of wealth, right? Boom. That's the last one I'm going to give you for the freebies. All right. Josh, I'll see you next Tuesday, except for in my dreams, buddy. In my dreams, we're going to Golden Corral. There's no coronavirus. We don't even have to wear a mask, man. We're just going to show up and be like, yo. But it's going to be the Golden Corral in Kansas City. So all my friends at the 5 could be there. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to try to get both Diction and Rajim, the Black Bishop, on the show. And who knows, man, we might live stream Mars again. All right. So remember this. If I don't say Audi 5000, that means some monkeys probably stole my phone, or some pigs, some kind of malicious animal with the STD. All right. Audi 5000. See you, Josh.
Later, man.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight.